Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven facts. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven facts. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it. Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? What's going on, Roof Advice, day one? What you guys getting into, man? Hey, how you like that introduction, that disclaimer? I had to play it twice. You know, we got to make sure everything is transparent and doing things a little bit different, trying to tighten up this YouTube. Thank you, appreciate it. What's going on, Roof Advice? What you got going, bro? But anyways, look, we're gonna just go ahead and jump straight into this video because I'm not trying to be too long. And this video is an hour and 6 minutes. And I'm recapping on this from yesterday because it was just like so mixed up. You know, like that's why I named it Mulligan and Mulligan, because Mulligan is like a redo, and then also it's like a beef stew. So everything was just like so mixed up yesterday. You know, we got to redo it. We got to take it back. So make sure everybody get a clear understanding, and especially on my behalf, because I'm not trying to change no narrative up or nothing. It's just opening my mind up more and just looking at other possible things that could really be possible. And when you're dealing with type of cases like this, or any case in general, that's kind of how you have to be. You know what I mean? But of course, none of us are professionals, and we live and we learn. And as we go through these cases, then we learn stuff and our approach becomes different. Now, some people correct themselves. Some people don't, because some people just don't care. You know what I mean? Well, you know how we rock over here. We try to keep it professional and respectful at the same time. So I want everybody to understand that. Also, we're not pointing fingers at nobody no more. At the end of the day, we're a year and we're 13 months into this case, and you know the boys are still missing. So that's pretty much the main concern right now. It's always been the main concern is the boys, but all the other stuff is just unnecessary. You know, it's pointless. But at the same time, this is like more for educational use so for the next time, you know, for those that's tuned into the true crime community and you just know how to think, you know what I mean? You always got to be open-minded and optimistic and not just jump directly into anything in life. You stupid, Rough Advice. So yeah, you guys, basically we're just gonna recap on yesterday's video, and I want to know how everybody feels, what they think. Is it even possible? I think a lot of the information in this video makes sense, of course, because or else I wouldn't be reacting to it or anything like that. And it is from, I keep forgetting her name. I think her name is Trisha, but her YouTube channel is Left Undone. So shout out to her once again. You guys, go subscribe to her channel if you want to. I know this video right here that she has, it's a lot of information in there, and it's an hour long, like I said. And as me being a content creator, when you do a video that's an hour long, trust me, that's a lot of work. That's probably like 2 days worth of editing and probably more on her end because she had to do a lot of research and, to get the information that she put together. And like one thing about this video is we've seen these videos, we probably seen like one video at a time, at different times. So we probably didn't pay attention to certain things that was being said, let alone put all the videos together and make it make sense. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what she did. So when the video was presented to me, I watched the video and I'm like, damn, it kind of makes sense. Like, this is a possibility. And we got to remember, if anything is possible, then we can't rule it out at the end of the day, because shit, anything could almost be possible. And that's how we got to go into it, because we enter this type of stuff off top with our feelings and not in a professional mind state, especially if we don't know to think like that. But yeah, so on my behalf, I'm just, I'm still kind of confused a little bit, honestly. I think everybody pretty much is at this point. But we're gonna get more into it on that part. Hey, what's going on, Sophie? How you doing? I'm pretty sure most people probably went after last night and watched the video, for those that didn't watch it. But it still doesn't matter, because we got our own opinions over here. And that's just what it's, what it's about. All due, respect to everybody. So we're going to do this respectfully, you guys. No disrespect to nobody. Give it a couple more seconds to see if anybody else is going to tune in. I'm pretty sure they are. Let me play my disclaimer one more time. I'm going to be playing that a lot because this is very important and people got to understand that. This is something I learned too that I should have been doing just to, I don't know, I would have did a lot of things different, you guys, if I would have knew what I knew now, just as far as the education on doing YouTube and in regards to true crime and other people's tragedies and how to really approach it in the right way, which, as a content creator, I don't think the best thing to do is to create content within your feelings. It's cool every now and then, but not to make that your main narrative.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven facts. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it.
Allegedly, you guys, everything is based off of allegations. And as of right now is not proven facts. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this video. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna break it down little bit by little bit and just try to understand it and just go from there. And it is what it is, and that's that. You feel me? We're not finna really politic about it. We're not finna point fingers at nobody at all. Like either parties or anybody that may be involved, like all that is cut out just due to respect for everybody, the integrity of everybody, because I guess at the end of the day, that's how it should go, right? You know what I mean? Unless you really, really know the truth, and not too many times people really, really know the truth, but act like they know the truth and present their content like they know the truth, or just basically in their feelings. I didn't did it myself. I learned from it, and not saying that was wrong about them feelings. You know what I mean? Because that situation can still be right. Anything could be right, but it's just the professionalism of how you do it, I guess you could say. You guys get what I'm saying? It's mainly all my day ones up in here, which is cool. I ain't tripping because we already know people is gonna go back and watch, and people is gonna jump back in. But I do want more people to come in so they understand. Because I want it to be transparent with everybody, especially on my end. I don't want nobody to say anything, or I said this, or just because I'm playing this video, this is how I feel. No, I don't. I'm like, it's mixed emotions still. I'm just going over information. All this, is already on the internet, basically. So we just reacting to it, and that's about it. Which is something I never did on my channel because I guess you could call it bias or just one-sided, and then pretty much wasn't doing it the right way. But anyways, I don't want to say too much. We're gonna go ahead and get into the video, and then hopefully you guys will kind of understand where I'm coming from, and without trying to confuse nobody or stir up any commotions, because I'm really not trying to do that. And honestly, like when I seen this video, I did get a lot of education, and it was kind of like a little bit of a relief to as far as like the boys might be dead or something. I don't know. It was just like it just felt a little bit better to know that this might be possible. It could be possible. And then one more thing, it just makes it makes sense than what we've been doing the last whole year, which we ain't got nowhere with that narrative at all. It's just been the same thing. Yeah, you just gotta learn as you go is the best way. Some people can accept that and they be stuck in life. You know what I mean? I don't think you could really do that in true crime, especially as a content creator. And if you're just learning or whatever the case may be, if you didn't go to school for it, apparently you're not a professional. You have to go off of experience, right? It's common sense. So yeah, which you guys already know, like this is the last thing I thought I would be doing in life in general, which is nothing wrong with it, but I never thought about this as far as like advocating for missing persons or spreading awareness. Like that never crossed my mind. So I would never think that I would be doing this. Somebody else must be going live. Who else is who going live right now, you guys? Nature Boy Ray. Yeah, I just try to keep it 100 as much as possible, and then at the end of the day, when you do advocate and get involved in stuff like this is very sensitive, it's very serious. And I understand that. That's why you guys know I didn't want to do it in the beginning, because you might say the wrong thing on accident, and then it's just, you never know. It's a very tough job, and you gotta hold it down and know what you're doing. And it's hard to do that, especially on the internet, where you got all these hella weird ass people that would just create their own narrative off of their own imagination and just run with it, because that's just how miserable they are in life. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get this video started, you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up so YouTube could share it or do whatever they do and get some more people in here. And hopefully this video will help a lot of people out. I'm gonna leave this video up and just go from there, you guys.
My channel, and I am sharing it with you. There appears to be much confusion as to what a fact is. If we want to help solve crimes, we must be prepared to listen to those who...
Do you guys hear an echo, or is it good? Because I got my mic on while the video is playing. Sometimes it echoes, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna play it again. One of you guys just let me know if we good or not.
To solve them. Without experience, we are part of the problem, not part of the solution. We can't throw people in prison just because they give us a...
Sounds good. All right, cool. You guys just let me know if well, actually, now echo. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna just mute my mic when I play the video.
Confusion as to what a fact... Hello, and welcome to Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine. This video was made specially for my channel, and I am sharing it with you. There appears to be much confusion as to what a fact...
I just noticed that she said specifically for her channel, so hopefully, I think her name is Trisha. Hopefully Trisha, doesn't copy, give me a strike or whatever. It's all for the benefit of the kids. It's all educational. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing right now. Shout out to the, the work that she did do. Oh, it's Kathy. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Kathy. And also at the same time, I don't know who Kathy is. This is the only video I've seen off her channel. I scrolled through her channel previously, prior to this live. And, I seen a couple videos on the boys and stuff. I didn't watch it though, but I'm gonna watch it and, see what else she's talking about. But as far as this video, like I said, it does make some sense in some type of way to where it could be a possibility. What she's saying could be very possible.
Fact is, if we want to help solve crimes, we must be prepared to listen to those who solve them. Without experience, we are part of the problem, not part of the solution. We can't throw people in prison just because they give us a weird vibe. Just because they give us a weird vibe. It just feels weird. My feeling, my gut. We hear this over and over. Innocent until proven guilty holds value in a civilized society. It's a cornerstone of democracy. Only the lawless would have us believe otherwise.
And once again, you guys, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I'm not saying I agree with everything that this woman is saying, okay? I just gotta, make sure everything is transparent and we get a clear view of what's going on. We listening to this woman, we all gonna put our inputs in. And that's pretty much it, But as far as I'm not saying I don't think you should always listen to law enforcement because it is corruption in law enforcement. But you just gotta, every case is different. You gotta put it together yourself and make it make sense, and you decide yourself or to believe law enforcement or not. Does it make sense to believe them or are they, is it a cover up? But on the part when she said we are part of the problem, like sometimes even though we care, we could be a problem and it's not even intentional. But that is true, So for those content creators out there, it's the professionalism behind this. And a lot of us and other people do this without that, certification or being certified as an advocate, especially victims advocate, because you're dealing with hurt people. But yeah, so it's just all an understanding, it's all a learning.
Who knows the facts of any given case? A content creator? A reporter? Or law enforcement?
And through the course of the last month, you and I have spoken several times, every morning, every night.
At least.
Right.
And then also, you guys, I want you to be in the mind state of not just this case in general, unless we're speaking on this case, but this goes for every case, for true crime in general, to be in this mind state and to be educated like this. It only makes sense, you know what I mean? So what do you guys think who will have the most facts? Just out of what she just said, them three people, a YouTuber, the news media, or law enforcement? Now, I wouldn't put my 100% into either one of them people, but if I had to, it would definitely be law enforcement. Before we all know the news, I didn't see the news put out false information before. That's one thing I learned also reporting on true crime. And I had a family get mad one time because they was like, the news lies. You guys don't know what you're talking about. So I didn't argue or nothing. I just took it into consideration because I didn't seen it before. The news is the first people to go out there and report stuff. So, for the most part, information is not even out there like that. But yeah, who would you guys, who would you believe first? I know my day one, not the only one in the comments. Come on, you guys, let's do this together. Day when you said the news last. Yeah, between the news, it's like news and YouTubers is like almost, but the news do be putting some bullshit out there for sure. A lot of times. They probably put more bullshit out there than, the honest truth. But yeah, so out of them three, we all agree with law enforcement. Just so. Oh, my bad. I had clicked that on accident. Yeah, so we all agree on the law enforcement, so we're gonna keep it moving on that. Like I said, we really gonna break this video down for educational purposes, just to learn for for the future. Because I'm pretty sure we all got attached to this true crime community, and there's gonna be more cases, and this is gonna help us in the future, so where we know how to approach the situation.
And I always check to see if there's any updates.
Right.
Now that we are a month out and I have the luxury of having you in front of me, I'd like to know. I want to just basically run through a lot of the questions I've asked before in case
Sure.
Anything has changed, and also some new questions that I've drawn up here.
Sure.
From your experience,
Mhm.
how many years have you had in law enforcement?
Just passing 30.
Okay, so a lot of experience, right?
A lot of experience.
Seen a lot of things.
Yes.
Worked a lot of cases.
Yes.
Okay. When people are saying, "Hey, look, how can law enforcement not have seen here? How can they have not done that?" You're saying you guys probably already are doing those things.
Yes.
How much does law enforcement know? How much is law enforcement doing that us in the media or people in the public don't know about, just to make sure that the investigation is not being messed with, not being keeping the integrity of the investigation?
Well, again, we're getting.
And you guys already know here on this channel, that's one thing that we've been talking about. I know I've been talking about it to where it's pretty much common sense. How could you expect law enforcement to say too much of anything if they're trying to catch criminals and build a case or whatever the case may be, even if they're trying to cover it up, or they're not going to say nothing at all.
We're gathering as much information as we can. We're sharing that information. We're putting that information together to see where this thing, or if it will lead us in a certain direction.
So there isn't, just to clarify, there hasn't been anything really new since the last time we spoke.
Nothing bigger or shattering than I can share at this point.
Facts are derived
from evidence,
not rumors or personal emotions.
I think I saw this, and I maybe saw that, and I had a dream the other night that this happened. We followed up on some leads of tips and clues that once again did not pan out to be true.
Aside from, we'll get into the rumors. I've already touched on a few, but we'll get into those shortly. I know that there have been some, you mentioned you've been following up on every clue or every investigation or kind of, what's the word, lead that any of the locals or the neighbors have given you.
Yes.
Have there been a lot of false leads or discoveries from the public? But you generally follow up on most of those leads, or?
The best. So between us and Bakersfield, we try to follow up on everything.
Yeah.
It has enough substance for us to follow up on.
So we don't operate off of hunches, innuendo, or rumor. Everything that we believe has to be based on fact. However, we're going to let the investigation play out and the facts speak for themselves. I can't speculate. We go where the facts take us, and we go where the tips that are corroborated and are valid.
So
Hey, what's going on, Infamous? What's good? So once again, most of the people that's in the chat was here yesterday. Main thing on that, for those that wasn't here, is you notice how the law enforcement facts. Now, I guess they could be lying, right? That's always possible, but it seems like they know a lot of facts. So if they know facts, then that means they know the truth. So if they know the truth, then you got to put that in your head and listen to them as if you know that they know the truth or something. I feel they know the truth. Honestly, from this whole 13 months, I personally feel the law enforcement knows what's going on, and We're going to get more into that at the end of the video, you guys. So make sure you hit that thumbs up or share it. Let's get some more people in here. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's going to go around. And honestly, I don't really care about how many people be watching me when I'm live because, you know, I am a shy person at sometimes. And I'd rather just talk to a few people. I understand people is going to go back and watch. So my message gets delivered a little bit better. And once again, you know, that's the whole point of redoing this whole live so we could get it in one segment and it'll be a, you know, very transparent on my side and everybody else's side.
So what do we mean? Sergeant Pear said that tips that are corroborated are valid. What does he mean by that? Corroborated, confirmed, substantiated, verify, authenticate, validate, attest
But
to
again,
the
we can't be
truth.
closed off. We have to look at this, and you know, if the evidence starts to build over here in the mountain,
I can't speculate. We go where the facts take us. And we go where the tips that are corroborated and are valid.
So what do we mean? Sergeant Pear said that tips that are corroborated are valid. What does he mean by that? Corroborated, confirmed, substantiated, verify, authenticate, validate, attest
but
to
again,
the
we can't be
truth.
closed off. We have to look at this, and you know, if the evidence starts to build over here and the mountain gets higher and higher, we're going to start focusing here more. But if something comes in that leads us another, then we're going to at least check that out and see how that weighs out against this. You know, does it match up? Does it not? Are we totally in the wrong spot? We could be. But as the information comes in, you know, this mountain keep building. So we need to, because we don't want to specifically look at one thing or one person, because first of all, that's not fair. And second of all, that means we don't.
See, now come to think about it, that's probably why they don't talk so much. You know, going back to them not speaking too much up on the case, or, you know, because they already know the truth. They're probably just trying to figure out a way to prosecute or, you know, if they can even prosecute. We're going to get more into that later on how I feel. You know, I don't want to give no spoilers, but, well, not really no spoilers because nothing like that. But it's good, Infamous, why you make them faces. Yeah, exactly. You know, we're going to get to all that. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, you guys. Sorry about that. I got this phone call. Everybody just take a little 2-minute break real quick. I'll be right back. Hold that thought, Infamous. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, sorry about that. Had to handle this phone call. You guys know how I go, man. You just hold especially yesterday. That's real quick. That's another reason why I want to redo this video, because it was really a mess. Like, oh my God. And I was not really expecting to even cover this video yesterday. It was not in my plans at all. Okay, I'm reading your comments right now, Infamous. What's up with them saying the mountain getting higher and higher, and then the other one saying if you open one? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it's pretty much, they're saying the same thing in different metaphors, but meaning the same point. Basically, the mountain getting higher and higher is like a door opening and opening, which we'll see further in this video. It goes to, they keep saying there's numerous people involved, so we got to take that in consideration too. If it's numerous people involved, it's gonna be this door that's open and this door that open, and the mountain's gonna get higher and higher, and it's gonna take a long time. And I'm telling you, we've seen all this video, all this footage. We've seen all this before, but we've seen it individually. I hate when I mess up on my words like that. Individually. And then I'm pretty sure when we watched it, we didn't really pay attention like that. So the way that Kafty put, all this information together and broke it down, and it makes a little bit of sense. It makes a lot of sense, honestly. But let's keep it rolling, you guys. Well, actually, let me finish these comments. And on that note, you guys, for most of us here, and a lot of people be on a one-track mind state. Not even just in regards to this case, to any case, instead of just doing what's really supposed to be done, doing what law enforcement would do. Yeah, Shannon, thanks for that. I'm just trying to put my input. There we go. Then honestly, that's the one of the points of a content creator having a channel, is for their opinion and their input, and then people come to listen to how they feel about the situation. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people wants to know how I feel about it, as being a day one searcher and being from Cal City. And then yeah. All right, back to your comment, Shannon, where he said I think he's just saying he's going to hit on it later, maybe. What you mean by that? Like, hit on what? I took that phone call, so I wasn't, I got distracted a little bit. And of course, yeah, taking notes. We all here to take notes. This is for educational purposes, to to talk about stuff that hasn't really been talked about, especially on this channel. But yeah, everybody should be taking notes, you guys. Let me go ahead and get back to these comments. Yeah, people always jump on the bandwagon, but we got to understand day one, sometimes it's just feelings, and sometimes that's just like a natural thing that happens with all of us, but it's something that we have to stop ourselves, because we all didn't approach situations one-sided, you know what I mean, just because, without even looking into anything else, on the other side of the fence, you feel me, because we just so in tune to what everybody else is doing, you know what I mean. All right, so I'm all caught up. Let's just go ahead and jump back into this video. We all good, everybody? Everybody caught up in the comment section? But yeah, information, real talk is just at the end of the day, when it comes to situations, like, we have to think like this. This is why I want to put this out there to, make people, we have to. It's only right for the victims, the situation at hand. I don't know really how much of a YouTube or a content creator could really alter a case, but I know it could bring a lot of frustration amongst a lot of people, including law enforcement and everybody else. So that's very important too. You know what I mean? It's already stressful enough. So, but yeah, let's get back to it.
We're not open to the whole investigation. We have to be completely open. But however, we have to continue to follow the leads includes where they go. And if they keep going, pointing in that same direction, then we're going to keep following that path.
Will law enforcement be dropping any hints as to who the path leads to?
And I'm sorry, I can't. I'd love to tell you, exactly, you're right, and this is what we know, and this is what we're looking at, and this is what we want to do, and we have this specific suspect in mind, and we're going to make an arrest today. I would love to tell you that. And I'm trying to be as transparent as I can without, tainting the investigation.
And so we're starting to get into details that, we're going to protect. And it's not because we like keeping secrets.
Hey, what's going on? My boy Friday Norfolk in here. What a surprise, man. Welcome. But yeah, you guys, the reason I'm saying this is to kind of get people to understand that these folks know information. They're basically telling you. They keep saying it. I know I missed a lot of this. I wasn't really paying attention. My whole focus was not to investigate anything, just to help spread awareness and do what I can to keep their story alive, to hopefully bring justice or bring them home, whatever the case may be. But now that I pay more attention, especially these videos, it's like, whoa, it's like, for the most part, we know that they know information. Now, whatever that information may be, I don't know, and I'm letting you guys know, honestly, I don't know exactly what they know. And I don't know too much myself either. You know what I mean? But I just want you guys to really pay attention to what all these law officials, law enforcement is saying as far as facts. They mention facts a lot, and they mention protecting their facts to do what they got to do. So that might just give a little hope on as far as, the boy still might be alive. Like, that's the main thing I'm getting to. At the end of this video, that when I first seen it, that's what made me feel better. It gave a little bit of hope. Now, their conditions, or if they really out there, or what's really going on, still nobody. I ain't gonna say nobody knows. I'm pretty sure there's people out there that know something. But on my end, still question mark for me, you guys. And I just wanted to make that as transparent as possible, because I didn't heard little rumors out there, or and then I also understand, like, I don't really I might not put stuff out there the right way, and people might take it the wrong way because I didn't really explain it. Like yesterday, I was just all over the place with it yesterday. Like, and honestly, I was already drinking, a little bit, so I was, was just, it wasn't the way I would want it to do it. Like, you get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? Oh, you guys talking to each other in the comments. Well, all right, let's get back to this video. Bear with me, you guys. I got to make this very, very clear, because I could just imagine somebody just going out there, oh, he put this, changing the narrative and doing and this and this and this just because we're going over this video. Like, come on, man.
Secrets, but we have to protect the integrity of the investigations. We're not going to give out witness statements. We're not going to give out statements made by people that we've contacted at all, because we do not want to close doors in anything, even though we may take a beating. And I'm not going to get into specific about theories, because investigations are still occurring. But we can't talk about what we're doing, because our goal is to bring these boys home and find out what happened. And to release information that is extremely specific like that could jeopardize that. I'm not willing to do that. I don't think you want to do that. And I know the investigators don't want that to happen. We're not going to give out witness statements. We're not going to give out statements made by people that we've contacted at all, because we do not want to close doors in anything, even though we may take a beating. And I'm not going to get into specific about theories, because investigations are still occurring. But we can't talk about what we're doing, because our goal is to bring these boys home and find.
Now, either this man is hella capping and got hella game, which is basically he's lying, but he just basically told us they're doing what they can to bring these boys home. Once again, back to one of my main points, I want to relieve some stress off people and try to get some hope a little bit off of the information that's been in front of our face. That's all I'm doing. Now, tell me what you guys think about that. Let me run it back for you guys. And once again, just on my behalf, this is still allegations, allegedly, guys. You know what I mean? And once again, we're just going over information that's already out there. So I'm not putting a stamp on nothing. I'm not trying to change no narrative or create a narrative on anything. All right, you guys? We just going over shit we miss. To keep it short, you feel me?
Find out what happened. And to release information that is extremely specific like that could jeopardize that.
Now, this is one thing to be concerned about. He said, bring them home. Where the hell is their home going to be after all this shit that they done went through? Now, that's really something to think about, you guys, and concern for these boys. Fuck everybody else's feelings, honestly. Where is these boys, if allegedly they are out there and they would, what's the justice? I think the justice is still in corruption. We're going to get more to that, though. I still would love to see the boys. I think their home will be back with their family, their mother, with Ryan. I don't know what they mean, though. Foster home, that's what I'm saying. These kids have been through all this shit. You're going to bring them back to the system to put them back in foster home with some more potential, whatever. because still, I still have a feeling in this, the information that put out there. Actually, I'm not even going to jump into that yet. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, and I don't want to confuse people. But Friday North, that's what I'm saying. That is not good, and that's not their home. So I definitely hope that's not the case. They need to be back with their family, and that's their bloodline, that's their family. As long as they family care and want them, after all this stuff, if they recover, they should be able to go back with their family. And I know you got the mother and two fathers, so I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole nother thing, but really nothing I want to speak on. But whatever family member stepping up that wants these kids, that's going to take care of these kids, somebody that's connected to the family. So at the end of the day, these kids know their family, and that would probably be the best thing for them in life, honestly, is to know where they came from. That's probably the best thing you could give them right now is, especially if it's a caring family. Which we're going to get more into that, you guys.
I'm not willing to do that. I don't think you want to do that. And I know the investigators don't want that to happen. And unfortunately, law enforcement can't talk about the specific details of what we may or may not know. We have to protect the integrity of the investigation. We have to keep things close to our chest. You know as well as I do that if people are involved in this investigation, we don't want that information out there because it can severely impact the course of the investigation. I can't speculate. We go where the facts take us. We go where the tips that are corroborated and are valid take us. Well, so I'm not going to get into the specific details. It's either going to be through a tip or the investigative process, whether that is evidence that has been located previously or an interview. And the unfortunate reality is that you're not going to narrow me down further than that because I have to protect the integrity of the investigation. We know the public that's here demands answers. They want answers. I would like to be able to give them some of the information I have, but the reality is we can't. We have to keep this close.
Once again, you guys, you see that he's stressing the fact on they have information. So just so far, just off this, my feelings, it's not sounding like the boys are deceased or anything like that, which that's just one of the main things I'm pretty sure we all concerned about. Or, that they didn't get hurt bad, and not even to mention it's still going to be a psychological disaster at the end of the day, but we're not going to get into all that.
Close to our chest because the result is whether we find the truth of what happened, and we can't taint that. So that's the reality that's I'm not going to be able to get into specifics.
All right, you guys. So this is something that's kind of boggled me. It's like they know information, but they still seeking some type of truth. He keeps stressing that issue too. So I think that would mean multiple people is lying, all right? It's a lot of lies still. What's up, GQ? No, I haven't been by the house lately. hasn't really been too much activity, just, you know, the same old stuff. But yeah, you feel me? Day one is he keeps saying that, you know, you want to bring the boys home and to figure out what happened to them, to figure out the truth. So they still have a void in their case. It's still something that they don't know. That's probably what's taking them so long to, you know, do whatever it takes. And then also, I'm gonna just say this real quick, and we're gonna get into it later on at the end of the video. I still believe that is, of course, a lot of corruption. One of the biofathers is suing the county, as we've seen this on the news clip and stuff. So it's a lot of legal stuff going on, and this is a big case, and it's going to be a lot of embarrassment. It's going to be a lot of exposure. You guys got to understand that too. So that could be some type of cover up to where we're going to get more into that. All right, you guys. But that's, you know, we know that for sure. I don't know too much on the court dates that's going on. I don't, you know, let me tell you this, you guys. Sometimes I mind my business, and you know, that's why sometimes even with this case, I don't know a lot of information. Like a lot of stuff that happened in the beginning, I don't know because I just, you know, I never went back and really paid attention to certain things because that wasn't my intentions or my goal at the time. So, you know, it's some stuff out there. It's not, you know, I mind my own. I don't, you know, when it comes to court dates and stuff, I don't go ask Ro and all them or whoever. I don't speak up on that. And even, you know, that's where it gets personal, and it's, you know, it's really none of my business. It's not, you know, for the world to really know. So when you start going to court dates and legal stuff, it becomes very, very personal. Let's get that out the way. But real quick, I gotta hit y'all with this, man. I love this thing right here. I just feel like professional, like I'm stepping my game up.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven fact. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it.
Allegedly, folks, everything is allegations, right? So we got proven facts. Oh yeah, that Gabriel thing, that's sad, but that was a good documentary. Is anything educational in relation to these type of situations? More information you gather from different cases, the more this case or that case might make more sense because you put in different information together. Basically, you know, experience, which we didn't all gain the experience within the last year, intentionally or unintentionally. You know what I mean? It happened just by following this true crime stuff and just seeing the things that go down. Like, you know what I mean? But I know with throughout the last 13 months, I don't think it's been like a major outbreak with any of the cases. But yeah, let's get back into this video, you guys. Shout out to everybody that's up in here. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, you know, just for the YouTube, so they can share it and more people could get this information. And hopefully, you know, it's educational to everybody and at least just spark something in, in these content creators' brains to, approach things differently. I need to do less talking. We only 8 minutes in. God damn. Let's go, you guys.
But there are numerous individuals, and we're getting into semantics of legalese that I'm not going to divulge who specifically is questioned. I am absolutely not going to get into the details of it, and for the aforementioned reasons. Anything as far as the interviews and interrogations and statements provided by anybody, regardless if it's a community member or someone more closely involved in the case, I am not going to provide that information. And the reason for that is because, one, it discourages people from providing information to us if I go in front of cameras and talk about what they told me. Two is I cannot provide the facts of the case. And I know you want it, and I know you're doing your job, and the public wants answers. But the unfortunate reality, like I said before, and I know I sound like a broken record, is we have to keep that close to our chest. We have to.
So yeah, no. Wait, where have we heard this story before?
So I called the cops. Cops came. First thing they did was tell us to stay in the house so they can get a hold of us. And they had us just sitting there, and we wanted to keep searching, but we couldn't go outside.
The cops told us the best are out here.
The best are out here searching. And we appreciate it. And nobody ever could tell, we could never talk to anybody. And that was the issue.
Sorry, Chief, last question for me. Can you confirm, since the beginning of this incident from last week, that there has been nobody detained or arrested during this entire investigation?
There's no one been arrested.
Has anyone been detained?
Well, people have been questioned.
Okay.
Formally detained, no.
And not held in custody upon their own will?
No.
Okay.
Has anyone been arrested since the day these kids went missing?
All right, let me try to explain this for those that don't know the difference between being questioned, being detained, and being arrested. Now, in my life, how it usually goes, is usually if I'm getting questioned by the police, I'm already detained, which is detained means they put you in handcuffs, but you are not arrested. And of course, everybody knows what arrested means. They put you in handcuffs and, you're going to the big boys farm. So that's the difference between the three. You can't get questioned without being detained, which is meaning you just don't got handcuffs on.
In conjunction with this case, no. No one.
Okay. Anyone detained since the first day these kids went missing?
No.
We were told the best are out here looking already, just to stay put. They have more questions. There was literally a cop with us the whole time in there.
He had sitting down. We would ask, can we go help? They had to sit down.
Said nope.
He said, no, we got the best out there.
So
we
it's not,
you guys here in case we have more questions.
I don't want you guys thinking we didn't try. We actually looked before we called the police.
Yes.
Questioning the parents, that has happened. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you earlier mentioned that you guys questioned the parents.
Yes.
But we can't talk about what we're doing because our goal is to bring these boys home and find out what happened. And to release information that is extremely specific like that could jeopardize that. I'm not willing to do that. I don't think you're.
Oh yeah, you good, day one. Ain't nobody pushing the narrative. We just, when it comes to true crime, we just doing what's supposed to be done. Honestly, it's just opinions and just looking at different information and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, it makes sense. We can't front about that. We got to keep it 100. You feel me? We hear We here for the sake of these children, man. And at the end of the day, you know, that's about it. You know, that's the main thing. But yeah, just to run that disclaimer across you guys, we're not pushing no narrative. We're just going over this video with different information that we have not covered on this channel yet, which I think was kind of a mistake on my end as not being a professional in this area. But we living and we learning and we're gonna get it together, you feel me?
You want to do that, and I know the investigators don't want that to happen, and the people that care about the boys.
If you care about bringing the boys home safely, then you will not jeopardize the investigation by talking about it to anybody. Would you follow this advice?
Note that the adoptive parents,
I would.
to what you've told me in the past, they've been more than willing to come in anytime you guys have requested, correct?
Yes, they've come in multiple times, actually.
Let's consider what we just did there. We took the rumor that the West lied about being detained and corroborated their story using statements made by law enforcement. We now know we were being questioned and we could never talk to anybody to be substantially true. These are now indisputable facts as we were able to verify them with the authoritative sources, namely those closest to the investigation when inside knowledge. What other facts can we verify using the same technique?
EPD didn't inform you guys, hey, look, we saw surveillance footage that showed something alarming.
No. They have. So they about to get into this technique, you guys. This is one of the major things in this video, was probably where a lot of the confusion came from. I never even thought, if this is true, allegedly, you guys, allegedly, it's a fucked up technique. I ain't even gonna lie, but you guys gonna see the technique. But I would never think that law enforcement would put anybody in that position. Maybe it's the best thing to do. I don't know, but I still don't agree with it. They need to figure out something else if that is accurate, allegedly. They have not shared that with us.
He told us he called within minutes of them going missing. Were you guys able to determine that too?
Yes.
Since they were there in September.
Originally, the neighbors we did contact said that they had no knowledge there were kids in the house, but since then we have had neighbors come forward and say that they did have knowledge that there were children staying in the house.
Where was the last positive ID, hence the last time Orrin and Orson were seen?
To the best of our knowledge,
Yes.
the day that they went missing.
Was there a last positive ID of Orrin and Orson West anywhere other than California City?
Probably in Bakersfield with the grandmother.
Okay, so then the grandmother confirmed a specific date where she saw the kids last.
Yes.
When was that? Able to determine that too?
Yes.
Since they were there in September.
Originally, the neighbors we did contact said that they had no knowledge there were kids in the house, but since then we have had neighbors.
Don't want that to happen, and the people that care about the boys.
If you care about bringing the boys home safely, then you will not jeopardize the investigation.
He called within minutes of
to anybody to be substantially true. These are now indisputable facts as we were able to verify them with the authoritative sources, namely those closest to the investigation when inside knowledge. What other facts can we verify using the same technique?
EPD didn't inform you guys, hey, look, we saw surveillance footage that showed something alarming.
No, they have not shared that with us.
He told us he called within minutes of them going missing. Were you guys able to determine that too?
Yes.
Since they.
That's another thing I noticed in this footage. The chief keeps going back and forth about the footage, and that's just I don't I don't think that footage was supposed to be out there like that. You know, I don't know if it's to protect the integrity of the case or to cover something. You know, I don't know, but apparently, you know, that's what he's getting to. So, anyways, you guys pay attention to that too. And I'm trying to hear what he said about the timeline and something about September, and I'm trying to catch that real quick. When the boys went missing, and there was something about Wanda. Let's run it back and see. I just wanted to get you guys' attention on that.
Side knowledge. What other facts can we verify using the same technique?
UPD didn't inform you guys, hey, look, we saw surveillance footage that showed something alarming.
No, they have not shared that with us.
He told us he called within minutes of them going missing. Were you guys able to determine that too?
Yes.
Since they were there in September.
Originally, the neighbors we did contact said that they had no knowledge there were kids in the house, but since then we have had neighbors come forward and say that they did.
Did he just say that he could determine the day that they went missing on footage? So allegedly, if that is true, that would mean that they did make it to Cal City, and it is some type of footage or something. I don't know. That's something I got to go back and pay attention to. But we're not gonna really politic on that. But definitely is that footage plays a major part in this case.
They did have knowledge that there were children staying in the house.
Where was the last positive ID, hence the last time Orrin and Orson were seen?
To the best of our knowledge,
Yes.
the day that they went missing.
Was there a last positive ID of Orrin and Orson West anywhere other than California City?
Probably in Bakersfield with the grandmother.
Okay. So then the grandmother confirmed a specific date where
Yes.
she saw the kids last.
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Okay. Has there been?
Wait, what the hell? I don't know if I'm tripping or I'm getting confused. He kind of said, all right, well, no, he said they were seen the last day. They were seen the day that they went missing. Then after that, he says the last person to see them was the grandma in Bakersfield. Wanda. That doesn't really make no sense right there.
Hence the last time Orrin and Orson were seen.
To the best of our knowledge,
Yes.
the day that they went missing.
Was there a last positive ID of Orrin and Orson West anywhere other than California City?
Probably in Bakersfield with the grandmother.
Okay. So
okay, he did say other than California City. Still a little sketchy though. I don't know.
So then the grandmother confirmed a specific date where
Yes.
she saw the kids last.
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Okay. Has there been anybody other than family that has positively ID'd?
Sound like they got took from Wanda's house. I don't know. That's just what's going through my head right now, you guys. So don't take that into high consideration. That's my thought right there. That just popped up.
had seen Orrin and Orson West in Bakersfield?
I would have to review the notes, but yes.
A yes, that there has been someone other than family that
Yes.
has seen the two kids.
With the grandmother.
Okay, so then the grandmother confirmed a specific date where
Yes.
she saw the kids last.
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Okay. Has there been anybody other than family that has positively ID'd had seen Orrin and Orson West in Bakersfield?
I would have to review the notes, but yes.
He just basically confirmed it again in Bakersfield. Come on, you guys, you got to help me out in the comment section. I know I'm not tripping. If the kids supposedly got taken from California City, how did somebody else that's not family positively identify them in Bakersfield?
Contact said that they had no knowledge there were kids in the house, but since then we have had neighbors come forward and say that they did have knowledge that there were children staying in the house.
Where was the last positive ID, hence the last time Orrin and Orson were seen?
To the best of our knowledge,
Yes.
the day that they went missing.
Was there a last positive ID of Orrin and Orson West anywhere other than California City?
Probably in Bakersfield with the grandmother.
Okay, so then the grandmother confirmed a specific date where
Yes.
she saw the kids last.
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Okay. Has there been anybody other than family that has positively ID'd?
Oh yeah, you guys, this is getting interesting. So why would he not be able to say the date that the last time she seen the kids if that's not the day that they went missing? What is so important about hiding, not saying the last that I mean, what would that hurt? Oh yeah, well the last time she seen the kids was I don't know. I guess that will put some kind of timestamp on it. I just know there's a lot of Bakersfield shit going on in this little segment right here.
Had seen Orrin and Orson West in Bakersfield.
I would have to review the notes, but yes.
A yes, that there has been someone other than family that
Yes.
has seen the two kids.
Yes.
Positively ID'd them.
Yes.
Can you disclose that date?
No.
And for people who watch this and wonder, hey, why can't they disclose that? What is the reasoning?
Because those are significant dates, and we don't want people to start speculating. Well, again, with the rumors, well, they saw him on this date, but they didn't see him on that date. So this must mean this is what happened, and that's not true. So we want to keep those dates close to the vest and those people as well.
We've also, in previous conversations, spoken about surveillance footage.
Okay.
Obviously, Cal City PD is aware that there's surveillance.
Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. He hate that surveillance footage. He like, okay. That's probably the last thing that this man wants to talk about. Funny, but not funny.
Footage out there, correct?
There's footage off of security cameras from the neighboring homes. That is correct.
Okay. And
Homes, cameras, homes, plural. So there's more than one.
Homes. That is correct.
Okay. Are you aware of what's been shown in any of the footage?
Yes. I get briefed on that daily. Again, we have hours and hours of that we're reviewing. So yes, but I get briefed.
Okay.
So check it out. Even with all that CCTV footage, the Wests were not arrested and are still cooperating.
Are you aware of what's been shown in any of the footage?
Yes. I get briefed on that daily. Again, we have hours and hours of that we're reviewing. So yeah, briefed.
Okay. And essentially, and we could clear up just in our last conversation, you weren't able to disclose what was in that film.
That is correct.
Okay. And that's all because it's part of the investigation, correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. Could we also report that there is some amount of circumstantial evidence pointing to foul play being involved?
Of course. Of course.
So there is evidence of foul play. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he feels like that too. And let me get this out the way, you guys. Just because we're talking about the footage that was released, I'm not throwing no type of shade on the neighbor or Steve for you messy people out there, okay? Once again, we're just going over, this information that was already out there in this in Kathy's video from Left Undone. And I must tell you guys, she did this off of information that she researched herself and put together. And I will only, could imagine she put her own opinions in there, of course, and maybe her own narrative. Her own narrative. Okay, you guys? Clarification on that. But yeah, just imagine, allegedly, if their technique that they're talking about is true, which we haven't even gotten into that yet, you guys. So that's coming up too. But if that is true, then just imagine what the video would do. It's going to put them in a position to where that's maybe why this officer, is you had this plan, but then it got altered. And, they basically might have to just freestyle and put some stuff together. So it's going to be little mistakes because that's not how it was originally supposed to go. You guys get what I'm saying? Just common sense kind of thinking. Not saying, the video getting released altered the case in a good way or a bad way. We don't know right now. And we're not pointing fingers at nobody. We just going over information, allegations. She states in her video that some of this stuff is facts. I guess some of it is. I don't really know, but on my end, coming from this channel, it's all allegedly. It's all allegations, no proven facts.
Necessarily mean murder. Remember that. Foul play could be kidnapping.
Can we say that the focus of the investigation is on the parents?
No.
It'll obviously be, part of the focus on whether they may have had a role.
Do we have anything to prove that? No, we don't have anything to prove that at this point.
Nor that they played any role. And what exactly does foul play mean? As I mentioned, law enforcement, what do they mean when they say foul play?
But has your investigation led you to believe that you say foul play is involved?
I believe so, but that doesn't mean they're dead.
Do you think the kids, any leads saying that they may have been kidnapped?
Kidnapping means illegally moving one person from one point to another, whether it's from the front yard to the backyard or from the backyard to wherever. Someone took them out of the backyard, and then that would mean they were kidnapped.
So it had to be, some other person involved, whether, a neighbor or, a family member or something like that.
That's what I do truly believe is that night, there is no way that they could have got out of that the neighborhood without some sort of assistance from an adult.
And earlier, I know in our first interview in front of the house on Aspen Avenue, you said that you suspected foul play. And do you still think that, and why or why not?
Absolutely. It goes back to I believe that there's no way those kids got out of that
We got 8 people tuned in. I need y'all to drop them 100s in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up. Show that support, you guys. Even though I know probably like 4 of y'all is ops. I ain't gonna say no names though, but I know who be watching my channel and don't want to leave a comment just with hella weird. That's the word for the year. Hella weird.
That neighborhood without some sort of assistance. So if there was an adult that assisted them or took them out of the neighborhood, that would constitute foul play.
So exactly what constitutes foul play? It doesn't necessarily mean abuse. It just it means
foul play means that someone has taken the children and not divulged to their parents where they're at. That's just, I mean, we'll start basic 101 right there.
Someone else got involved in the
somehow, someone, absolutely. Again, if I believe that they didn't get out alone, so
from all that's being stated, it's pretty clear that evidence supports kidnapping.
Someone had to have done that and has not reported to us, because everybody I would imagine, at least in the nation now, knows we're looking for these kids, has not reported it, then that would constitute foul play, because the only people those kids are supposed to be with are their parents.
For those that was not tuned in with me last night, just stay tuned in. It's gonna get pretty interesting, you guys. You know, it's gonna get interesting.
We will look at both the possibility of an abduction or foul play, as we term, because foul play is ultimately a very loose term that can cover a wide range of circumstances.
Do the Wests agree with law enforcement about kidnapping?
What is the intuition? What is the sense you get? What do you think happened to your boys? Do you think someone took them? Do you think they're lost? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely know they're not walking around. They're not that kind. They do not just roam around. You know, these patches. They definitely, I think definitely would have been picked up or something.
That was my assumption.
Have they ever taken off over
No.
before?
No.
They've never taken off?
No.
How does cooperation with law enforcement work exactly? And I want to give a little shout out and a thank you to Trisha from Web Sleuths for allowing me to use a little clip of her.
What's good, Friday North? You over there sipping? That's crazy. You just posted that, bro, because I just like found a beer. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna sip it. Congratulations on the baby, Brits. Who else up in here? Drop some more 100s, y'all. Told you it was like 4 ops in here. Just watching, but it's cool though. Maybe they'll learn something, some integrity, you know. Cool, calm, and collective. As we all learn to be professional, maybe they learn a little something too. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a text on my phone or something. On that note,
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven facts. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it.
Can you get a ride over here, bro? I ain't got the whip until 12. I let her take the car to work. because I knew I was going to get into this live. Like most of you guys, excuse me, know my technical difficulties that I've been going through. So I tried to prepare, so we won't have to go through that today. But yeah, anyways, bro, if you try to get a ride, catch the bus, man. You got to learn how to catch the bus, bro. Don't be scared to catch the bus. There's nothing wrong with catching a bus. You can actually find the love of your life on a bus. It's very possible. Let's get it.
Hers, where she is speaking with Mark Class from the Poly Class Foundation.
Mark, you were a suspect.
All right, you guys. So for those that don't know, this is where it starts to twist a little bit. This is where it gets interesting at. This is kind of what opened my mind, is this technique thing. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know. Let's get into the video.
In the beginning, flat out a suspect, correct?
Yeah. And I understand that. I mean, they explained that to me. They were really good. The police were really good up front about explaining certain things to me. They explained that I would be a suspect, and the easiest way for them to find out what happened to Polly would be for me to eliminate myself from suspicion.
Right.
And that, in fact, anybody that came under suspicion would have to be eliminated from suspicion so they could keep moving closer and closer and closer to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I was willing. I mean, I told them right up front, I said, look, you do what you have to do. If I have to take a polygraph, I'm more than happy to take a polygraph. If you want me to dance naked on the table, I'll do that.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
you tell them what you need. And the other thing, though, that they told me, Tricia, that
all right, now look, no cap, you guys. I would usually say, man, I ain't doing none of that. But one thing I do live on is you can't really speak on nothing you ain't never been through. And that's where people get it twisted at. But one thing for certain, two things for sure, I'll probably most likely do anything for my kids. But, this is where you just got to think about humanity, man. You guys got to get what I'm saying. Everybody is a human. And if they have to go through this, just if allegedly, this is not my narrative, but, I'm never wrong for taking anything into consideration that makes sense. You feel me? None of us is entitled to that for anybody. But yeah, back to this crazy ass technique that law enforcement uses allegedly.
the other two things that they told me are, number one, they said any information about the case, any important case information, I would hear from them, and I would not hear it from the media first. And they also were very clear that there were two designated individuals, one from the FBI and one from the Petaluma Police, that would be my personal contact, so that if I had questions, if I had information to share, if I had anything, I could go through those two individuals. So that set the parameters for our investigation. But I have to tell you, given all that, it was still a terrible emotional roller coaster. And every day that law enforcement came out and said that they didn't know where Polly was and they had nothing new to report, in my mind, was the day that they were failing to do their jobs. And I look at it differently now. I understand things very differently now, but that's definitely the way it was back in the day.
Has law enforcement already told us why the neighbor's CCTV footage didn't result in an arrest?
Again, I have not reviewed that video, so I can't speak to that.
Okay, and it doesn't mean another law enforcement agency hasn't reviewed it. It just means that CCPD may have not seen it, right?
That is correct.
Is the FBI still involved? Are they still supporting you guys?
All right, so one thing that I did notice, we all noticed, he's going back and forth where he did see the video, he didn't see the video. But I don't know the timestamps on these videos. You know, it could have been one point in life that in the beginning, you know, he didn't see the videos. And it's just mixed up on her video. We got to be open-minded, you guys, you know. You can't be quick to you just bash people out. Plus, we don't want to be them type of people no more. So I'm just playing, y'all. Well, I'm not playing, but I'm serious. Don't say I'm contradicting my.
They're still processing our evidence to the best of my knowledge.
And some of that evidence is also being processed by Bakersfield Police currently.
That is correct.
And
Bakersfield has played a big part because, you know, they have the technology, they have the labs, and they have the manpower to help us out.
Police Chief Walker says the security cam footage is consistent with the statements from Trezell and Jacqueline West.
It seems the media has deliberately obfuscated the footage.
Security camera footage of a neighbor to Trezell and Jacqueline West shows on December 21st at 5:53, Trezell starts looking for the boys around the neighborhood. The neighbor admits the timestamp on the security camera footage is 1 hour off.
What appears right here is someone, I'm assuming by his statement, is Trezell getting into a white van in front of the property.
Here we go, you guys, back to this footage. We all know this is not the footage. I mean, it's the same footage that Steve put out, but it wasn't that distorted. My point is, it's just something about this footage that's, you know, that's bothering them, and it keeps getting brung up, and it's like they don't know what to do. Which is understandable, you know. But hey, if it was that important, you should have went to every house in the beginning and told the folks, you know, how important it is, and to not release no footage to nobody. So can't really point fingers at nobody because they still could have did a better job.
Property and exiting.
But sorry, y'all, we all know this is bullshit right here. What the hell? I don't think no footage on earth is that distorted in 2021. Come on now. And then we all seen the one that Steve released, so why blur it out like that? Can't even see nothing. Anyways, though, allegedly.
They're pushing the same narrative.
And it looks like he makes a left turn and goes eastbound on Aspen.
Trezell comes back to the home 6 minutes later. Fast forward to 5:53. California City Police arrive. This is 5:53. So can you tell me?
5:53 is consistent again. We received the call at 5:48, and we were on scene within 5 minutes. So that makes absolute sense. And it looks like I'm assuming Trezell and Jacqueline walking up to the police car and discussing with my officer, giving them information of what they've reported.
Trezell gets in his van and looks for the boys around the neighborhood more, while the officer looks for Orrin and Orson with a flashlight in the backyard.
I'm absolutely confident at this point my officer is beginning his search where the kids were seen last, and that would be in the backyard.
We saw dogs on the other side of the fence. We did not see children on the other side of the fence. So not saying they weren't in the backyard, just from the security cam footage and the angle the camera was at, we could not see children through an outline or anything on the other side of the fence. Is that same with police?
Yeah, that's a correct statement.
Take a look at this video. You can see an adult holding the door open while 4 children go into the van. Then later that day, 2 adults, which appear to be Trezell and Jacqueline, come back to the house without any kids. Chief Walker says the Wests say they dropped off 4 of their children, not including Orrin and Orson, at a
Yeah, another thing I just thought about, he already admitted that they have footage from multiple homes and, throughout the neighborhood. So why use this footage? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is I just honestly think they were definitely trying to protect their narrative of the case and their plan. I don't know exactly what it is, you guys. They could have really be trying to find the boys, or they could be covering up something. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel in the end, but just I kind of think it's a little mixture of everything. Definitely trying to find some way to cover up the corruption with the county, and that's a huge deal right there. So, but we're gonna get into that at the end of the video.
A family member's house that day. Walker says that day, December 19th, was the last day the other 4 children say they saw Orrin and Orson. Come back to the house without any kids. Chief Walker says the West say
At this point, my officer is
video, you can see an adult holding the door open while 4 children go into the van. Then later that day, 2 adults, which appear to be Trezell and Jacqueline, come back to the house without any kids. Chief Walker says the West say they dropped off 4 of their children, not including Orrin and Orson, at a family member's house that day. Walker says that day, December 19th, was the last day the other 4 children say they saw Orrin and Orson.
That was he said that was the last day the kids seen him. Well, I guess that would make sense if supposedly if he took all 6 kids to Bakersfield and came back with the 2 kids allegedly, that would be the last time the kids seen him on the 19th. But still not lining up with the footage. I'm pretty sure we all know by now that footage is definitely a problem to law enforcement. Now, the importance of the footage, we know it's important, but pretty sure it's deeper than, what we're thinking.
Let's go over the indisputable.
Now, that last little part with the pictures, like she might have been holding a child. I don't know. I don't really know what to think about that, But you never know. I guess it probably could be a possibility. So if it is possible, then it can't be ruled out, right? That would be the right way to do it. But on my end, I really don't know. Let me know what you guys think on that part right there. Shout out to the other 4 people that don't want to drop them 100s.
Indisputable facts we've learned. Everyone with firsthand knowledge of the investigation believes the boys were kidnapped, including the Wests. Everyone who cares about the boys coming home alive are voluntarily keeping specific details close to the chest, including the Wests. The Wests were never detained or arrested. They were questioned, and no verifiable evidence has arisen to dispute their version of events. Professional analysis of the CCTV footage resulted in it corroborating the West's version of events, not incriminating them. Law enforcement were able to corroborate the other statements made by the West without the CCTV footage using witnesses and other evidence. None of the evidence incriminates the West. In fact, it absolves the West. Curiously, the media appears to be ignoring any facts provided by authoritative sources in law enforcement. So we decided to delve further into this right now. What do we make of all the search warrants?
To this point, we've, executed over 20 search warrants as a supporting law enforcement agency, and we'll continue to put manpower and process information and look for these boys 24/7.
Somebody yesterday informed me they spotted a vehicle that looked identical to the parents' van coming back from the direction of Silver Saddle on Sunday, the day before the boys were reported missing.
Well, today we're out at Silver Saddle, the old resort, about 15 miles north of California City, just off of one of the citizens saying that they possibly saw a white van coming from there a couple days prior to the kids being going missing. So we went out there, probably had about 50 personnel from multi-agencies, and we searched the whole property.
On Saturday, 50 personnel from the FBI, the Bakersfield Police Department, and Kern County Search and Rescue participated in the search. According to BPD, officials spent several hours in the area and wrapped up shortly after 12 p.m. And Sergeant Robert Pear of the Bakersfield Police Department says the boys were not found during the search.
That's right, Alex. We have been out here all evening. I'm here off of Potomac Avenue in East Bakersfield, and I'm in the neighborhood of the adoptive grandparents' area. Now, again, I have to tell you, just to remind you of this area, just a few weeks ago,
So you see what's happening here? Community members speak up. Law enforcement gets a search warrant. They follow these tips. So it may not actually be a coincidence where these tips are coming from.
prayer was held here for Orson and Orrin West just a few weeks ago by the biological family as well. And we were just 10 minutes away where the Bakersfield Police Department conducted a very massive search near the Casa Loma apartments near Cottonwood Road and East Pacheco Road just last weekend. And like, as you mentioned, they have taken over this investigation. And according to neighbors, they tell me that they saw the Bakersfield Police Department out here earlier today as well.
So we just accounted for approximately 6 of 20 search warrants up to the 2nd of March when Bakersfield Police Department took the lead. What of the other 14 search warrants? Are we simply not interested in where the major concentration of the focus has been? 2/3 of the search warrants have gone completely ignored. We're not even a tiny bit curious who else has been served. The media is not staking out anybody's homes but the West. They're not posing any questions to law enforcement about anything apart from the bio family's tips and unfounded rumors. It's almost as if someone is trying to divert our attention, or multiple people, away from a predefined narrative. Why? What purpose could that actually serve? And as I mentioned on Saturday in my live stream, about the America's Most Wanted episode that talked about the West Boys, also spoke about a case of an underground network that helps hide children.
Is she getting help somehow from somebody?
It's dedicated to finding fugitives. That's what the show is about,
The same
right?
assistance, or could be getting help from a more sophisticated organization, the kind that helps mother and children, shelter them, hide them.
Take a look at the faces of these 2 missing California boys tonight. That's 4-year-old Orrin West on the left and his 3-year-old brother Orson on the right.
A sophisticated organization that helps hide them. Why were the boys on this program, America's Most Wanted, right after a fugitive mother who possibly was helped by an underground organization? Is there any evidence such organizations exist?
The
Well,
FBI
this
is
lady
seeking
was featured right
information on
before
the
the boys.
whereabouts
and
of
that's
this
what they
mother.
Yo. Y'all still up here? He's still in here. Drop some comments, y'all. Once again, this is where things get a little bit more twisted, where they start talking about this stuff that has to do with legal kidnapping. I guess I never knew this existed either. Allegedly. But yeah, it's all this shit is crazy, y'all. You said you haven't seen the rest of this? Yeah, I don't think I went through the whole video last night. For our boys who made this stream, we are watching. This is Left Undone. That's her YouTube channel name, and I believe her name is Kathy. But yeah, once again, some pretty good information. Just to let you guys know, I got to keep saying this. We're not pushing no narrative. We're not changing no narrative. It's just basically for educational purposes. All right, you guys. All due respect to everybody. Because at the end of the day, it's a stressful situation for everybody involved, so. Let's get back to this video, you guys.
Mother and daughter from South Carolina. Jennifer Lee Saddle is wanted for allegedly abducting McKenna Butcher in April after learning that full custody would be given to the 11-year-old's father. Special Agent Robert Hammond.
It was at that point that Jennifer took McKenna to Maryland and visited some family friends, where she told them that she was going to disappear and that they would never hear from her again.
Parental abduction. Abductors may be other family members or their agents, although in most cases, the abductor is a child's parent. This crime may include incidents in which children are detained or enticed away from the custodial parent. Custodial interference can also be defined to include interference with a court order of time sharing, visitation, or access. Way too many cases of international parental child kidnappings into the USA have been reported from countries all over the world, including Australia, France, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Germany, India, Japan, Mexico, Philippines, Spain, and the United Kingdom.
Why is it so difficult for law enforcement to recover children that are kidnapped by underground networks? Those taking law into their own hands are often apprehended quickly, whereas help from a syndicate often involves career professionals. Sophisticated, remember?
They have access to the police databases. They have taken our computers, they've taken all our documentation, and that documentation is replete with descriptions and evidence of the children's abuse. Yet they do nothing. We protected these children from abuse. Whatever we've done, we've given these children 4 years of freedom.
To share what is the best interest of the child in these situations. So can somebody help bring that all together? Because it seems like we got far afield as to how it relates to the bill. And
I can speak to the best interests of the children. There are several factors, and parents can fight about them. They can fight about how many, which parent took them to more medical appointments. They can fight about which one did more, went to more of the activities. They can, as earlier said, which one got along better. They can fight about who loves the children more, which parent the child is more associated with. And I trust parents. I've represented both sides of parents for 25 years. And I really do believe that if we give them those rights, they're not going to abuse them. We don't have to have courts second guessing them. They're not going to say, I want more time just for the money. or I want more money, so I want more time, or whatever way the money will not be involved. Parents will go in and they'll acknowledge and they'll submit to the other parent, and they'll each get along, and they won't need lawyers, so I'll be out of a job.
And on that day, the sisters disappear without a trace.
What was your reaction? What any mother's reaction would be. I'm concerned. I'm worried. Everything was going through my mind.
Where did they go? Who are they with? And why does our journey begin by asking questions to their mother inside the Ramsey County Jail?
Did you have anything to do with your two daughters running away?
No.
Do you sit here and think, how did this happen?
Clean record, never had
Clean
a problem.
record, and here you are in jail on $1 million bail? What's going on?
I've never done anything but be there for my children. My kids are my life.
David begins to suspect that Sandra knows more than she's saying about their missing daughters.
Did you think she might have something to do with this?
Yeah, oh yeah.
1 month after the girls' disappearance, there is a bizarre twist in the story. They show up, but in a place no one expects.
The Rucky girls say they want to be heard.
On local television.
They met with us at a hotel. We don't know who brought them here.
The local Fox 9 station airs this story. And right there, sitting in front of the reporter, are the two missing Rucky sisters. And as quickly as you can change the channel, the girls are gone again, vanishing back into the night. Sandra's legal troubles were only about to begin. The search for the two missing girls shifts to one of Sandra's staunchest supporters, Dee Dee Evavold, an activist who is vocal about what she says is corruption in family courts. Detectives search her home and find a cell phone photo of one of the girls on a farm. They trace that photo back to White Horse Ranch. Gina and Doug Dolan own the ranch, which offers 90-minute therapy sessions with their animals. The Dollins say it was Sandra, along with Dee Dee, who dropped the girls off at the ranch one night with no more than the clothes on their back. Then Sandra left and never returned. Days turned into months, and then astonishingly, years.
Are they really helping these children by taking the law into their own hands?
I had a lot of doubts in my mind. It took me like a week and a half after coming home to call him dad. You know, it was hard because you're told one thing for a lot of your life, and then, you know, you see that it's just lies. And as a kid, it's, you know, you feel betrayed.
5 years ago, the Goldman Act was passed by Congress and signed into law, helping people like Dave.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to get more into that. Let's get back into the video.
David, get their children home.
All inspired by Sean and David, including a dramatic decline in the number of new cases of parental child abduction and the resolution of many others.
The other parent is going to.
I know it's definitely not good for a child's mental health. I know that for sure. That's pretty much, you know, common sense right there, that anybody that's going through this situation, they have to live with that, and that will alter your mental health, I'm pretty sure. What's going on, Gil? You said it was Maria's the other grandma? Oh, he's saying the kids was with her? But yeah, you feel me? They wanted, and you know I didn't think about that at first. Yeah, I didn't, you know, because I don't know nothing about this type of stuff. I didn't even know it exists. but we're gonna get more. We're gonna talk about that. Let's let them finish talking about it, and then we'll discuss it amongst ourselves.
To be telling the child a lot of bad things about the parent that they're not in contact with. That's going to skew their perception of the other parent, and it might influence their decisions on where to live. And as a young child, you don't really fully understand what's going on because nobody's really telling you exactly what's going on. But as I got older, I was able to see what happened and how they tried to skew my perception. I mean, it's crazy what people will do just to,
Given that law enforcement believes the West boys are still alive and can be brought home safely, are they trying to track a syndicate of activists who believe the boys should not have been adopted? People, for example, who follow Michelle McDonald's Innocent Families Project and are willing to help hide the boys from law enforcement. If so, how can we best help law enforcement to track these people down? What is their modus operandi? How do they stay fluid? How do they communicate and keep each other informed? Are they active in our online communities and deliberately obfuscating by throwing false leads at law enforcement and the media? Spend a little time in the Facebook groups. They might be really obvious to you. They are to me. Let's look at the views held by activists.
The two missing girls shifts to one of Sandra's staunchest supporters, Dee Dee Evervold, an activist who is vocal about what she says is corruption in family courts.
I went to the FBI to report the criminal complaint that I had filed against Philip Prokopowicz, James Backstrom, and Catherine Kina, all Dakota County attorneys. I've been trying to file complaints and trying to get the public educated about how you cannot get anywhere in the court system by playing by their rules, because there's no rule of law that's being adhered to.
Right, because even when you file criminal complaints, it doesn't seem to faze them too much. Okay,
Right.
but it did seem to get their attention where it took you out of testifying for Sandra's
Yes.
case. So apparently, if you think differently, you've been told to get an attorney, correct?
Numerous times.
Okay, would an attorney suggest that you file criminal complaints against the Dakota County attorney?
Absolutely not.
Would an attorney suggest that you go to the FBI and report?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So obviously the only way you can win is by not following the rules which they say that you have to follow, correct? Okay.
The video would get the public enraged about why are these children missing and what's the whole situation behind this. And yeah, that it would create a public outcry and that people would write to their legislators or the judge and find out more about this whole situation.
It wasn't necessarily about getting the public sort of whipped up about finding these girls. It was about getting the public sort of whipped up about looking at this case, right? So I'm just
right, yeah,
trying to get you to tell me that.
Yeah. For me, having the background and watching what's happened and transpired in family court, I was really hoping that this would be the story that would make everyone aware, because this is going on behind closed doors in courtrooms every day. And I was hoping that this would be the case where people would really start to understand what's going on and how these courts are designed and how children are being taken from parents. At one of the hearings, we did have signs that we took out that said to go to Carver County Correction, read about this, read about Judge Knudsen and the other players that are involved in this court case. And we thought that would get enough people to really stand up to this. And again, write to the paper, write, why are you not covering this? Also had said that something had come from my computer on Sandra's Facebook, in which I said I had her password and I posted on that because Sandra has a lot of followers that are nationwide. And I admitted to them that it did come from my computer. and it was me that had done that.
So, and this was when Sandra was this when she was in jail already? Or?
No, Sandra was, they hadn't.
But you were
located the
posting on her
girls.
Facebook for her just to
Mhm.
keep people sort of abreast of what was going on.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so just tell us a little bit more about that, that you did have Sandra's permission and her password to
Yes.
go onto her Facebook page and to keep the public.
Yes. And I had posted, I really don't remember what I had posted, but I posted on that, kept things here and there. Other people also had access to her Facebook and would post things to update. Cindy Dumas is from Safe Kids International, and she's someone that would go there frequently and get information out to others that are involved in court cases themselves and are also advocates. When I was just freaking out on them, watching them take everything, they took all of our computers, my son's computer, my daughter's, all of our phones, or not all of our phones, my phone, and then they had all of my documents because I've helped other people. I have a lot of other documents in my house, and they were going through them one by one, and I was trying to basically stop them.
You
and see-
understand what's going on here, right? She's helped a lot of people hide and kidnap children for their greater good, in their opinion, but completely against the law.
What, stop them from digging through my stuff. And I was just very verbally aggressive.
You're being sort of aggressive with them, telling them, I don't want you in my house. And what did they do?
And you understand, they pretended they wanted to find these children, but they were not, that wasn't their purpose. Their purpose was to go and bring their activism, their vigilantism to the spotlight.
With the process, and because I was gathering my stuff that was on my counter, and I was being very verbally aggressive about that, and the female officer then whipped me around and cuffed me, and I had to go sit on a chair and watch them go through my house and carry bags of information out.
And so did you have a sense of the kind of stuff they were taking and they were looking for? I mean, did you know, as you sat there in handcuffs, did you know what they were going to find?
I just knew that they were taking information. I had a lot of information in my house from, like I said, other cases, and getting other people's private information. That was the most disturbing. And I was supposed to be going to a meeting that day.
And so were you, but when they took your phone, did you remember at that time that there were these photos on there? I mean, were you worried that, did you know when they took it, okay, well, they're going to see these photos and, they're going to come back and ask me these questions about it?
At the time they took that, I really didn't know. I have a lot of information on my phone. I have a lot of information, just tons of things that I've done over 7 years. Documents, things that I've been involved in.
So you sort of knew when they took that phone, they're going to come back to me and they're going to ask me these questions, like, well, where is this picture taken? And obviously they'd be able to tell the date of the picture, right?
I don't know if I'd answer that. I don't know if I'd answer that. I don't know. I'm not
The Dallins, I met them. I used to work with Gina Dallin when we worked for a pharmaceutical company. And I knew that she really had a passion to start a ranch and to help kids and families that are going through turmoil. And so I knew that these are good, honest, salt of the earth people. I was very.
So again, just to talk about what's happening, she had some photos on her phone, significant dates, because the ranch is where the girls were found, and they were by using her phone, they were able to get landmarks from those pictures and find the girls.
They have a great community that's back then.
So my last question is just that I know that when people watch this, there will be people that are going to say, how did you know? I mean, obviously you told us you didn't really know Sandra that well. How did you know for sure that what she was telling you was true? Like, how did you know that this might not have just been a mom who was in an ugly divorce and was going to say whatever she needed to say? Because I would imagine both of you have seen situations like that before, right? How did you know this was not that?
Sandra doesn't act. You can't even begin to act.
You sat right here and spent half an hour telling me you hadn't seen or spoken to your daughters. If you were lying to me about that, what else might you be lying to me about?
When we first spoke to Sandra, she told us she wasn't involved in the disappearance of her daughters.
Do you have anything to do with your two daughters running away? You didn't know where they were these last 2 years.
After nearly 6 months of our 2020 investigation, we've explored that loosely organized underground network of activists hiding children in nasty divorce cases and tracked down every key player in the Rucky case. The Dollins, Dee Dee Evivold, Dale Nathan, all supporters of Sandra's who say they weren't part of any network, but who authorities say helped her hide her daughters for 2.5 years.
Dale Nathan said that he was with you when your two daughters jumped in the back seat without shoes or coats, and then you drove off.
This
Is that
is
true?
related to the trial.
Yeah, that'll all be talked about at the
I
upcoming
can't comment
trial.
on anything related to the trial. You know
Well,
that.
all I'm telling you is you sat right here and spent half an hour telling me you hadn't seen or spoken to your daughters.
And I
And
can tell
I've
you
now
I did.
spoken to 3 people who tell us, in fact, that's a lie. So if you were lying to me about that, what else might you be lying to me about?
I can't discuss anything.
Yeah, she busted her bubble.
I just can't.
Pressed her ass.
Sandra's strongest proof was always the testimony of her children. But today, one of those children has recanted his story. Oldest son, Nico.
Get up there, Nico.
That little boy from the home videos. And the same son who later posted that damning Facebook message accusing his father of physical abuse. He now says all of that was a lie, and that it was his mother who pressed him into believing it was true.
She started to say, like, your dad's this bad guy. Your dad, like, hurt you when you were younger. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I don't remember any of this. Well, it happened to you. It's like, and at the time I believed it because you listened to your mom.
He says he was 15 years old and he couldn't understand why she didn't want him to see his father.
I felt really close to my dad, and I was still confused on what was going on. Like, why wasn't I seeing my dad?
Nico now says he never saw his father physically abuse his mother or his brother and sisters. As for that Facebook post, Nico says Sandra stood over him while he typed, coaching him on exactly what to say.
When I look at my writing then and what I wrote then, that doesn't sound like me, and I feel really bad.
He continues to tell us that you brainwashed them into thinking they were abused.
And you don't find that questionable?
Well, what do you think? You're his mom.
I haven't seen Nico for a long time. It's sad.
They spent 2 years working on a horse farm. They didn't go to school.
You don't think I think about all these things? I know what these kids have been put through. But it wasn't me who put these through. This was the system that put the kids through.
It is painfully clear as you watch her son Nico struggle with the simple question, does he still love his mother?
I want to say no, but she's my mom. She just doesn't feel like a mom.
If you want to go start over in a different city, somewhere else where maybe you're not known.
Damn, that's pretty deep right there, you guys.
I'm the one that started it all. But at 14, honey, I just don't know how you could come up with this whole plan to... I did though. I don't know what to believe me, but I did. So your mom must have knew though somewhere to go to take you. I told her where to meet us. I'm the one that called her. I did. During that year, I really tried hard to stay out of it. And I wanted to have a normal life, and I wanted to be with my friends.
So I asked myself, why are these large groups of people and organizations
Well, Sandra
kidnapping?
is now suddenly not talking
What's
about
their
her case.
objective?
Her attorney, Michelle McDonald, hints at a possible defense, saying if Sandra truly believed her children were in danger, she was free to break the law to protect them.
They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she didn't have a reasonable belief that her children needed protection.
It's crazy what people will do just to.
It doesn't seem to really matter about the children's well-being. It's more about their agenda. And Dee Dee isn't done yet, and neither are her followers. The court grants a 50-year restraining order against Dee Dee. But they still think they're above the law. And this is going on, folks. I have a really sneaking suspicion that it's an actual possibility when it comes to the Wests. Based on all the hints, tips, and facts that we have seen.
Oh, that was kind of interesting. It was getting kind of boring a little bit, but yeah, I don't see what's the whole point of. Oh my God, it's just a big old mess. But to go take some kids in general, to go hide them and take their childhood. And once again, you guys, as you know, this is her narrative, so I'm not pushing that narrative. I'm just, this is kind of just in the middle of everything right now, and just doing what I can to help the boys as much as possible, whatever type of way. Jeez, man, I get so caught up in my words sometimes. I don't even know how to explain, when it, and I try to make sure, say the right things. But yeah, you guys. So this is her narrative, and I don't think that. I think it's possible, of course, it's possible that kids could be with the bio family or whatever. I don't know about this organization shit. But then again, like, you never know. Once again, I don't know either. So, but yeah, everything is alleged. Everything is allegations. And I'm still, sticking with the same script. Ain't nothing really changed over here. All, still respect to everybody. Just to get that out the way real quick. Let's get back into this video.
What did we just learn here? The people who conspire to kidnap and hide children are supported by large organizations like the Innocent Families Project, Child Find America and International, and the Women's Coalition. They believe they are above the law and that anybody involved in law is corrupt, along with all the institutions which uphold the law. They conspire with and update each other using social media, online forums, and text. They have no criteria as to which children they victimize, coach, and use for publicity stunts, and have no regard for psychological harm. They abandon the children to indebted servitude, slavery, and turn against children who don't play their games. They smear anyone who gets in their way, including judges, FBI, law enforcement, legal custodians, and may well be involved in other missing children going back to 1999. Their main goal is to win custody by asserting the children they're kidnapping were in some kind of danger. They're still operating today and continue to harass children who have been rescued, their families, their support structures, and anybody involved with their rescue. Due to the fluidity of this type of criminal network, law enforcement may find it more difficult to track down and prosecute them unless they have direct involvement in a specific kidnapping. Are there any notable similarities between the Wests and this case? Biomom lost custody from the bio granddad. There was a custody dispute, and granddad claims grandma won. However, grandma co-owns her home with a convicted child abuser. So it's unlikely grandma won custody. Losing custody is exactly what caused
See, this is information, I guess, that was put out in the beginning of the case. Like, I didn't even really know none of this stuff, which is crazy. And then again, I don't even know if that's actually true or not. So you already know it's allegations, but this is definitely, I didn't know nothing about none of this until like literally when I watched this video. If it's true, allegedly.
Mrs. Rucky to consider kidnapping. I implore you to look at the similarities. Accusations of foul play came very swiftly, directly from the Bio family. Accusations of corruption followed that, including CPS, the courts, the judge, their support structures, and any her home. And the chief.
All right, so this information right here is stating that the bio grandfather actually reached out to this YouTuber with this information. That's crazy. Allegedly. Right? Allegedly. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this for you guys. So allegedly, this is from the bio granddad. He said I could share. This was January 29th. I believe in 2021. Well, yeah, it had to be 2021. She's not interested in the psychic deal, but there's a piece of information for you. But here's a piece of information for you. The reason my family thinks my daughter was duped out of her kids because the parents of Jacqueline and Giselle works for Kern County CPS. That's how they were approved in such a quick way when in fact any of them shouldn't have been approved. They seen my daughter coming a mile away. They were receiving roughly $7,000 a month for kids. They were abstracted from the system. They abstracted from the system. Excuse me. This is being looked into as we speak. I guarantee you something is shady concerning these Kern County idiots. I'm wondering how many other people has been framed by these people. Oh, wow. See, now, this is really information that I didn't know. I actually just read this for the first time. Kind of makes sense why the officer would say it's a lot of, what do you say, numerous people involved. There's a lot of corruption and all types of stuff. Anyways, let's keep it going, you guys. That was pretty interesting right there. And that's allegedly, you guys, is from her channel. I don't, she said the bio granddad said, that she can share this information. So, I mean, I think that if allegedly that was the case, I think that would be a ideal thing to do, is to gain attention so people would know the truth as far as exposing what's really going on. Because we all knew that, that it was some type of corruption with the CPS. And then also I remember hearing that, one of the adopted parent sides worked for CPS. I think I heard it was Wanda. I didn't know about Jacqueline. Oh yeah, Jacqueline parents. Yeah, I heard on both ends. So that would be corruption too, if they're going through loopholes to get kids in the system faster, and then a tragedy happens like that. Seemed like a lot of people is going to be in trouble. Allegedly.
Accusations of corruption followed that, including CPS, the courts,
Hold on real quick, Day One. I know you're the only one in here with me. Somebody else. Take a little 1 minute real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave that up there for you guys to read it if you can. When I come back, I'm going to read it too. Day One, how it sounds so far? Am I doing good? I'm not trying to stir up too much. I'm not trying to stir up nothing, actually, to be honest. I will hope this will bring some slight hope to people and relief. Because honestly, some people, most of y'all already know what I said in the beginning and what I hoped for. I was like, worst come to worst, I hope, the bio family did do, if that is the case. Once again, I still don't know, you guys. You feel me? I was still this long. I would hope that they do have the boys, not under them circumstances of that organization that they was talking about. Fuck that organization. Them two ladies, they on some whole other shit. But I'm pretty sure it will be some type of still rough process on being on the run or hiding the kids. But if allegedly that was the case, how do we know the law enforcement is actively looking for the boys? Because it will become a legal kidnapping to where everybody fucked up. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of everybody's bullshit well, let me not say it like that, but we all humans, we make mistakes. But everybody's mistakes and whatever the case may be just came together like a cluster, and I guess you could say created a perfect storm, if that's the case, allegedly, off of this narrative that's being pushed on this video. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm not finna switch no narratives up. I already, I learned my lesson and getting educated on this stuff. So one thing I'm not finna do is, pointing fingers at anybody else in life in general on the internet when it comes to, I don't care if, if it even seems like it, because you never know. Never know. This was a whole twist right here. And honestly, it was just a timing. It was coming up into a year, and everybody was already kind of in the mind state of thinking differently outside the box. And so this video had popped up, and that's basically where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I still feel the same way. I just know it's a fucked up situation in general. I just hope. I don't know. Still no telling, you guys. Still no telling. Gives you a little bit of hope, but that's about it. I'm pretty sure law enforcement knows. Well, they do know, as you guys can see, what they stated earlier in the video. Put everything together. Anyways, let's get into this letter that they're talking about. Once again, my prayers to all the family members involved, man. At this point, on both sides, because we don't fucking know what's going on. At the end of the day, prayers for these kids, and hopefully, they safe out there and still alive and being taken care of, and hopefully, have a decent future or a great future. All right, where I'm at. All right, let's go. So this, I believe, is still from the granddad, allegedly, that he has sent over to the CAFTI. I don't know if this is part of the last letter or if this is something different. I don't know if this is an email, but hold on, let me make it bigger real quick. Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah, they were in foster care. Yes, I have certificates complete in both parenting classes. Yes, they were placed in foster care upon me getting off of work, and my son cry was normal. Okay, so this is from Ryan Dean herself. Sounds like, allegedly. I don't know where this came from, but she might say it later on in this video. But anyways, getting off of work and my son cry was not normal. I took him to the hospital, being a responsible parent, and they took my child from there. I fought hard to get them back. Those that know me personally know I was trying to do all the classes, maintain a household, and go to work so that they would have something to come back to, even if they had everything they needed in a good home. When they got took, and they only took Classic because he was a relative to Sincere, my son, and I had just had him and got him out the NICU due to him being 4 pounds and me having him early because of the stress of trying to get his older brother back before he came along. I originally took Sincere to the hospital because I felt there was something wrong with him when I got off work. Only thing that I did not comply with was the drug counseling classes because I did smoke marijuana here and there, which I understand what she's saying because CPS was doing that to a lot of people, you guys, especially when the new marijuana law had just taken place. They were still just taking your kids for marijuana, like just for no reason. You know what I mean? Like your doctor will literally say you're able to smoke weed so you can eat or whatever. It's not going to cause that much harm to the baby if you do it lightly. But then you got CPS saying that, you know, it's not healthy or whatever the case may be, and they want to take your child. I've seen that happen plenty of times. And then I also seen the process of CPS and just how they just so quick to take your kids in. And once you do your classes and stuff, it's always a game. They be all right, you know, by the next court date you should have your kids. Then you go to the next court date, and then it's something else. And they're never satisfied. They try to prolong it as long as possible. So I didn't see people, you know, go through this and just try and just keep going and don't give up. And it is a hard process. And I don't really know the details about, you know, the process that she went to, that she went through. But, you know how these folks could get down. But then again, I don't know the full story, you guys. So let's get that understood. All right. But that's nothing that's gonna make me unfit for my kids. And I have medical marijuana card, and the Ebony Counseling would not treat me for marijuana, which is legal, and that's what they said. And CPS is really not gonna care. At that time, it was like that was a main freaking thing is getting kids off of marijuana. So I guess at the end of the day is, I mean, during that time, it was just probably just smart not to smoke marijuana. The way they was tripping, even though it's not fucking fair because it's legal, and you know, if marijuana makes you unfit for your children, then you shouldn't smoke marijuana. I even presented a letter to the judge with them stating they don't want to counsel me because it's just marijuana is legal and I have a medical marijuana card. The judge turned me down and said he will go find something. I did what I had to do. And those who know me personally knows I love my kids. I don't care if a kid is blue, purple, and pink. I still love any child. And those who knows me personally knows this shit had never happened to me. So before motherfuckers want to judge and understand this person and the story on why certain shit happened, thank you. Have a blessed night. So that was a statement right there by Ryan. Yeah, man, it's a crazy situation. Crazy situation, you guys. At the end of the day, I can't, allegedly, if that was the case, if this was to happen, can't say she would be wrong for going to take her kids back. I don't think nobody would be wrong to go take their kids back if you're able to do it, in the right manner. As far as, just making sure they're fed and their welfare. Now, how that would be possible, I don't know that either, you guys, because I've never been in that situation and don't know too much about it besides what we just watched in this video. But I could kind of imagine it would be a process, especially if you got to be on the run and hide and all that. But we don't know. We know if that was the case. I'm just saying, if you guys. Hey, Sherry, I've been pretty good. Just chilling, relaxing. How you been? Yeah, no problem, Shannon. I really, like I said, I didn't really have no intentions of doing this. It just happened yesterday. So, I'm like, shit, I might as well just redo it again and make it more transparent, for people to understand. You know how people will create them narratives and make everything seem bad, and think people know everything. But yeah, anyways, you guys, seems like it's numerous people involved, including government officials, allegedly. If that is the case, it would make more sense than what the hell we've been thinking. I mean, that's where my mindset at. It could still be other stuff that might make more sense, but
The judge and
That's a problem.
the chief
I
of
get
police.
these nasty messages like, why aren't you out there looking for the kids? Well, I am out there looking for the kids on a daily basis. I haven't done anything different or less than that since the 21st of December of last year.
Bio family supporters also stood outside CCPD with a megaphone and accused a detective of corruption. There's also an online smear campaign targeting any.
I just want to say something on that part, man. It was a lot of people in the beginning doing all types of stuff, but it's all from the heart, emotions, and feelings, which might not been the right thing to do, but I wouldn't say anybody is wrong for that, man. We all gonna act how we act, and sometimes we're gonna react off our feelings and emotions. And we're dealing with 2 missing kids, so mixed emotions is gonna be high. There's gonna be a lot of tension amongst a lot of people. You know what I mean? Numerous people, allegedly. Look at this guy. There go your favorite YouTuber.
Anyone
Confidential informant.
of us that
What's so
believe
confidential about what I've
this
been
is
doing?
going on.
One of those channels that are all.
I haven't done anything different or less than that since the 21st of December of last year.
Bio family supporters also stood outside CCPD with a megaphone and accused a detective of corruption.
I think it was more supporters of the boys. She said bio family supporters, like my opinion. I think I know who she's talking about. And I think it was only one person. I'm not gonna say no name, but correction on that. Allegedly. Allegations.
There's also an online smear campaign targeting anyone
Confidential informant.
of us that
What's so
believe
confidential about what I've
this
been
is
doing?
going on.
One of those channels that are.
It was also a smear campaign on both parties, back and forth, back and forth war. But it was definitely a smear campaign. Yeah, I don't know. Like I stated earlier, I just try to be open-minded about everything and not jump to anything, and just keep doing what I'm doing and just spreading awareness on the boys. But it could be possible that he didn't know. You got to think about that too. You got to think about the possibilities and then the process of elimination. And if it's possible, then it's possible. If it's not possible, like 100% not possible, then you could rule it out. But if it's even a slight bit possible, then I mean, it could be possible. Things happen. So I really don't know on that, Infamous. He might have knew, he might not have known. Yeah, corruption is definitely has been going on forever. It's probably just shocking because it's more closer to home, you know, something that we're all dealing with. Because we deal with corruption every day, but
that are all over,
Or anyone
up
who
and down
disagrees.
and stuff, popped in and called me a stalker.
An online smear campaign is exactly what the syndicate is still doing to the Rookie family.
You'll pick up on one or two things.
We invited Ben Cardell, the deductionist, to deduce clues from this interview.
At that particular moment, right? So when you're asking for somebody's sense, or what did they feel, what do you know in your heart, that's immediately a question that's designed to get at emotiveness, right? Your emotive drive to answer these questions isn't coming from a place of reason. That's based upon detail for exactly what the detail is. Doesn't need to be clouded in this way. So whether that's the interviewer, the journalist, asking these kind of questions specifically to get that kind of a response or not is up for debate.
Say that a mother has the best intuition of her kids. What do you think happened?
That question makes me as close to certain as I can that that's the fault of the interviewer then.
Once again, you guys, this is their narrative that they're pushing. However they feel, that's how they feel. We're just going over the video. I am not pushing none of their narratives. I am not bashing Ryan Dean. I am not saying that I know where the kids at or that the Bio family has the kids. Once again, honestly, I do not know. I'm just going with the flow and just going off of what makes sense, which how can I say this? I'm just here basically to spread awareness for the boys, and that's where I stand and support, you know, keep their name alive until justice is served. At this point, you know what I mean? Mine is open to anything at this point. But yeah, anyways, right, it's good to have an open mind and view things from all angles. I'm with it. Yeah, as we should have done from the beginning, or at least me, if my intentions was to be a content creator. But this is definitely educational for the future, you know what I mean? For anybody. Which once again, it's just the whole fact that our minds still opened up, no matter if we know it's the truth or not. So that's kind of like the point there too. But definitely, you guys, I am not reacting to this video to push that narrative. So I just gotta make that clear for everybody out there.
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say, anything said about any person or persons in this content are not proven facts. Information in this content is based off of opinions and allegations. Allegedly. You know the internet's favorite word, allegedly. Allegedly. Well, let's get it. All right, let's get back to it since we got that out the way. Just definitely had to get a clear understanding on that. But real quick, how's everybody feeling so far? Am I making it transparent to everybody out there? We almost done too at the same time, you guys. We got jeez, damn, we got like 20 minutes still left in the video. But anyways, look, after the video, I want to discuss, how everybody feel, or just something that they might have learned, I guess, because I don't really want to talk about like pressing a narrative or anything like that, because that's not what I'm gonna do on my channel. At this point, I'm just being cool about it, and just out of respect for everybody. I don't want to alter nobody's feelings, you know what I mean? They get a call, I don't want to do that. But we just talk about our opinions, like the possibility and things of that nature. Because there's no proven facts out there, you guys, all right? And it's very important that we do this and we keep this professionalism and that we're educated on this. Because just imagine if this was the case, if this is what I thought about too, as being a content creator and bashing the fuck out the West family, even though I still feel they're shady in some type of way. We'll get more into that, but just that if allegedly, you know what I mean? Especially after seeing this shit, I'm like, oh, god damn.
Then trying to ask specific questions to get a particular kind of response. If you want something large in terms of a display or meaning or potency, again, you ask that kind of a question when a mother's skills are called into question. That's an incendiary response when you talk about that kind of lioness quality that a mother always knows best. Well, clearly something's happened where she's gone through a moment where she didn't know best, because they wouldn't have been removed from her care if she did. So to ask that kind of a question makes me think that the journalist knows exactly what he's doing to try and achieve the desired effect of words that are said specifically for an outcome.
They did something. I feel like they did something, and they know something. They did something, and I feel my kids is somewhere around here. I feel it, and I feel like they're in the house, and I feel like they did something.
For a mother's intuition, I know you were saying, and we'll get your names after this, but you were saying how you feel like they're in this area. Do you feel the same way? And what is the intuition? What is the sense you get? What do you think happened to your boys? Do you think someone took them? Do you think they're lost? A lot of people are speaking of this as, after the math, past tense. I want to talk about your kids in present tense. What kind of boys are these? Tell us about the boys.
Well, Jim, this case has caused a lot of infighting between members of the public who feel deeply connected to the boys. This civil war has caused the spread of many rumors online that sometimes are harmless, but not always. That neighbor then put pictures of Hutton all over the adoptive parents' house, along with a banner asking Doug Hutton, "Where are the boys?" On Friday, Hutton saw the postings and took them down. Police say Hutton was then cited and released.
Tell us.
Hey, good evening. I spoke to a few neighbors here. We're on Potomac Avenue and South Owen Street. They told me earlier today they saw Bakersfield police officers, but we have confirmed with the California City Police Chief a warrant was served here at the home of the adoptive grandparents of Orrin and Orson West. Now,
Let's list the similarities we've noted so far. Both cases started with loss of custody via the courts prior to the disappearances. Both cases involve allegations of corruption against law enforcement and the courts. Both cases have a large number of activists who believe in vigilante justice and think they are above the law. Both cases involve an obsession with publicity that is only focused in one specific direction. Both cases have relied on smearing law enforcement and detectives who are directly involved with the investigation. Both cases have hundreds of followers sympathizing with the biological mother. And most of these people are women that are sympathizing. Both cases involve activists that think they're smarter than law enforcement, who have obstructed, manipulated evidence, and given false leads. If you're following this case close enough, you know this. Prior to both disappearances, many activists already knew each other. Some also knew the biological mother, and they tagged her on social media as early as day one. Both cases involve
Let me clear my name out the way. I didn't know none of these people prior to the boys coming up missing. So yeah, just to reconfirm that, since my name did get brung up in that area. But yeah, I didn't know none of these people. I was out there for the boys since day one. That's pretty much about it. But I ain't gonna lie, keep it 100. I always felt, for Ryan and her pain. Just the situation at hand that she's going through. No matter what had taken place, you feel me? It's a fucked up situation at the end of the day. And still, I still ain't got no problem with Ryan. I don't got nothing bad to say about that woman. None of that, just to clear that out the way. Anyways, y'all, what's up, Danny? Allegedly.
activists who completely disregard the reasons the mother lost custody in the first place. In both cases, the mother accused the custodial parents of abuse, foul play, and or neglect before any display of concern for the physical welfare or whereabouts of the missing children. And both biological mothers blame the system for putting the children in this predicament and not their own actions. In both cases, little regard is given to how the publicity might impact the children, particularly using names they may not be familiar with anymore, and both cases involve activists stalking and harassing key witnesses. Both cases are focused around concerted online harassment and smear campaigns against anyone not repeating the preferred narrative. Both cases involve feeding the media rumors and misinformation to create emotive publicity and distractions. These are not facts, but observations that might hint at what law enforcement could be looking for. If you suspect someone you know may be involved with kidnapping and or hiding children, report it to Crime Stoppers immediately. And a story that is breaking over the last week that may shed a little light on the media's
And meantime,
role
the Kern County District Attorney's Office is asking for the public's help finding a 2-year-old boy abducted by his mother who does not have custodial rights. Noah Jax Alexander Hernandez was abducted March 4th and is believed to be in the Bakersfield area. He's described as 2 feet 8 inches tall, about 30 pounds, and a
All right, you guys, that's basically it. I think I got, my point across as far as a moment of clarity and making everything transparent on my end. And also, why I played this video too, which is for multiple reasons, but definitely not to change up no narrative or nothing. Just to open up people's minds and relieve a little bit of stress. What you guys think? You guys think that's possible? I think it could be possible. It's still hard to put it together in your brain on how everything would take place, but it's still definitely a confusing situation. Crazy story, man. Oh yeah, the rest of the video is only like 3 minutes left. It's just talking about stuff that happened in Bakersfield with other child abductions, I guess. Well, yeah, you guys. Anybody got any questions or any opinions? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in case anybody want to hop on the panel. If you want to, If not, go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, the last ones that they were talking about was in Bakersfield. I'll just play it real quick.
An arrest warrant has been issued for his mother, 28-year-old Amanda Hernandez.
Anyone with information on their whereabouts is asked to call 979-5592 or 911 to report it.
And a 2-year-old boy is safe and the mother is in custody after abducting her child 2 weeks ago. Prosecutors say Noah Jax Alexander Hernandez was abducted March 4th by his mom, who does not have parental custody rights. 28-year-old Amanda Hernandez turned herself in last night and returned Noah safely. The district attorney's office issued a statement saying in part that court orders for children have the force of law and disputes about custody must be handled lawfully through the proper court process. Refusing custodial rights to a parent who has been granted them by a court order is a criminal offense.
From our 17.
If we're gonna point fingers, we still pointing fingers at the goddamn system. Man, I swear they need to stay out of people's business. A lot of this stuff would not happen if they wasn't so money hungry and so goddamn demonic. They're always trying to take somebody's kids and make it hard and make money, and shit is backwards.
Follow-up file now. Last week, we brought you the story of a Bakersfield woman wanted for allegedly abducting her own child from the father. But there's more to this story. Tonight, we are hearing from the woman and the attorney that represents the boy's father. 17's Perla Shaheen is in studio now with more on this family feud. Perla?
Amanda Hernandez lost custody over her 2-year-old son 3 weeks ago. Thursday, she was arrested for abducting him. Hernandez says she's the victim of physical and emotional abuse, and the father's attorney says things didn't have to end like this. The custody battle between Jaquil Randall and Amanda Hernandez began last year.
My son is my whole world, and all I was trying to do was protect him.
Their 2-year-old son was in his mom's custody when the couple broke up. But Randall hired an attorney to fight for more time with his son. Hernandez didn't have representation.
That's what got me in this hole, because the other side did have representation, and they just kept filing and filing stuff on me, and I didn't have a chance to provide, the reason of why I was keeping him away.
Hernandez says she was emotionally and physically abused by her ex, but never reported it to police and gave no evidence of the abuse in court.
I have failed to report, to press charges, to file a restraining order, because I was afraid.
The court ordered Hernandez to allow the father to visit his child. Hernandez refused.
She outright told the judge no, she would not follow orders. We're talking about close to 6 months that my client wasn't getting visits, and she just straight denied it.
On March 4th, the judge gave full custody to the father.
I would not have been able to get my client custody had she not done what she did.
That same day, the district attorney's office put out a warrant for her arrest,
saying that, I abducted him and that he was in danger. But that's not true at all. I've had my son since the day he was born. We've never been separated from each other, ever.
Hernandez called attorneys and friends trying to figure out what to do. 2 weeks later, she turned herself in and her son was given to his father.
It hurt me by giving up my son, but, I had no choice. So.
Hernandez recently hired an attorney. Her next court date is April 12th. Perla Shaheen, 17 News.
Yo, who's still up in here? Yeah, that was a crazy video right there. Has some pretty good information in there for the most part. Still, at the end of the day, though, is where the boys, and prayers for the boys, prayers for everybody involved. And jeez, really kind of boggled a little bit. Like, I don't even know really what to think. I don't know what's good or not. Who's wrong, who's right. I know start from corruption. Of course, it started from corruption, allegedly. I don't know. What really matters is the boys, though. It's two little innocent boys that got to go through this at the end of the day. Oh, man, they didn't ask to be in that position. You feel me? That's all that really matters. Yeah, you just pretty much just, keep praying, I guess, leave it in God's hand and let law enforcement do their job like they say they is. I don't see why they would put themselves out there and say they know so much information and then not come with a conviction. That's dumb as hell. You know, it wouldn't make no sense for law enforcement to come and put themselves out there like that. Now, like I said earlier, going off of what that one officer said with numerous people being involved, I really think it's numerous people being involved. Like, you know, all these people and did a little something that ended up in this freak accident right here. A little perfect storm. There's probably a lot of people that's going to go to jail or get in trouble or fired or something. I don't know. But I don't think this system is set up to handle anybody kids. Shouldn't take nobody kids if you can't do it the right way. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty much the same shit at the end of the day. You taking these kids away, especially if it's not a serious enough reason, taking them away from the family, putting them with strangers, and it's the same shit. It's kidnapping, messing up their mental. You know, they whole psychological however you say it. Yeah, definitely messed them all up for sure. Unless they don't have to go through all that. You know, we never know what goes on in the backgrounds of the government and situations like this. Because at the end of the day, we think they got protocols and laws, and them folks can do whatever they want to do, especially when it comes to covering up their bullshit. Now, when it becomes a high-end scale or something this big, then of course it's going to be harder and it's going to be a big old mess. But if that is the case, allegedly, seem like everybody else will get in trouble, probably besides the people who might have took the kids, if that is the case. Because it seems like they're in the right if that, you know, if that is the case with the legal kidnapping stuff and, you know, all that. And they probably was in danger at the West House, and I don't know. Everybody involved. I'll say. Nah, though, real talk, though, I'm about to wrap it up. Thanks you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't disappoint nobody. That was not my intentions. I'm so curious now about this numerous. Yeah, that's definitely a major key word that he said, numerous amounts of people, which, you know, it makes sense to what's going on. Allegedly. And honestly, you know, I'd rather hear that story than just being where we was at, just thinking the West freaking then sold the kids to some aliens or something, you know, or killed them or something like that, you know. I just feel it's a little bit more hope. I don't know how you feel, Day One. Do you feel like it's a little bit more hope? Without even, pointing fingers at nobody, just the way the, law enforcement is talking. Once you watch all the videos, they really don't talk in past tense or nothing, like, like the kids are gone or anything. Then after that, of course, we got to think about their welfare. So it's always going to be something, but I don't know. Day One, anything else you want to say or anything you want to put out there? Anybody else that's watching? Nobody? All right, you guys. Peace and blessings. All right, Day One. I got some videos I got to edit up if I don't fall asleep. I'm getting kind of tired. But I'm going to work on it a little bit. Hopefully, should be dropping some videos in the morning on some whole other stuff, not in regards to the boys. Oh, wow, yeah. I know how that go. My son's asleep. He been knocked out. I was lucky on that one because y'all know he'd be all in my background trying to be heard. Thank you, Bridge. I appreciate you, for supporting my channel. But yeah, you guys, I'm out of here. I said, I'm gonna be on tomorrow, hopefully, allegedly. That word is stuck in my head now. She probably would eat them if she can. Yeah, no problem, Brits. And hopefully, everybody, I want everybody to woosah a little bit. Maybe everybody to calm down. And has been pretty calm, but everybody is still like, I'll be getting emails and all types of stuff, man. So I wanted to do this video when I first discovered it like 2 months ago, but I've just been avoiding it, just be a lot of stuff, you guys. Allegedly, right?
Copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair.
Yo, what's good, my YouTube fam? So on that note, I must say,